Hello, everyone. It is Saturday, and here we are, ready to rank 8-bit Nintendo games. Had to postpone things on Friday for it was like everything came together in like the last hour or hour and a half before the show was supposed to start to conspire in a way to prevent that thing from happening. So here we are. My son is less sick than he was yesterday. I'm less sick than I was yesterday. I got a new humidifier, and I think I ran it too hard. Like, it defaults to 60% as like when it gets to 60% humidity, we'll turn it off. And my wife, there was like a cloud in the room afterwards. It was maybe a little too much. That resulted in me being like dizzy for half the day. So I don't know. It was weird. It's weird, but yes, I don't know. It's everything is better now. I don't know. The kids are. My daughter fell down the stairs yesterday. She's fine. But there's been a level of rambunctiousness here in this house that is not safe. And you can tell a kid over and over again, hey, don't, you need to stop running. You're going to fall flat on your face, and this is going to happen. And I think there are some things that kids are just going to have to learn on their own, because they're just not going to listen. And perhaps you would think falling down the stairs might be like, oh, well, okay, yeah, oh, geez, maybe I should stop. No, no, not at all, not in the least. But we're here to rank 8-bit Nintendo games. We have 478 games on the list. Raid 2020 is our bottom game. We got a good bottom 5 here. That Pyramid, Operation Secret Storm, The Uncanny X-Men, and Deathbots. A real toilet of video games. Meanwhile, our top 5: Mega Man 2, Bionic Commando, Super Mario Brothers, The Legend of Zelda, and Rygar. Those are fantastic games. That's, and a great example of why this is scientifically done and not just me picking them. Because if I was just picking them, I don't think I would put Mega Man 2 up there. But Rygar and Bionic Commando would be probably your number 1 and 2 if it were up to me. If it were just up to me. But it's not. We're approaching this scientifically. You can, of course, influence the science. Like all good science, it can be influenced by money. Sign up for the Gerstmann advisory panel over at patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann, and you can suggest games and the order in which they're played and all of that. This week, though, we're starting with a game that a handful of people have suggested over the last year or so. But some of these big games I want to save, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of episodes of this that are just real rough. Real rough. So this time we've got a big sequel that I have unkind memories of, but we'll see what we got going on here. This game is Castlevania II: Simon's Quest. Step into the shadows of the Hell House. You've arrived back here in Transylvania on business. Go destroy forever the curse of the evil Count Dracula. I think is probably what that said before it scrolled away. Of the evil Count Dracula. Okay. Step into my heck house. Okay. Let's see. First thing to do in this town is buy a white crystal. Okay. Good to know. A crooked trader is offering bum deals in this town. Hello, I'm looking for a bum deal. I mean, right away, obviously, the differences between this and the original Castlevania are pretty evident. Sure. I was told the first thing to do in this town was to buy a white crystal. So I'm glad I found you, my man. No? How much money do I even have here? None. Hearts are your money in this game, right? I have not played this game for any meaningful length of time since it was originally released. And okay, Varus. A flame is on top of the 6th tree in Dennis Woods. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? This is an example, I think, of some of the, they had to fit all the text into these boxes, and I think a lot of my understanding of it is that, in the Japanese version of the game, it is not as, like, weird, cryptic as this game can get. Buy a Thorn Whip? I would love to, my man. These guys always, okay. I just realized I need to, like, interrogate my own thoughts about this game a little bit, too, because this guy always struck me as a skeleton in a robe. That, like, the dudes in this town that sell stuff are straight up bone men. Like, look at this guy, right? He's not just some guy. But I realized that they never really are explicit about that, and so I don't know that that's, like... Is this meant to just be a regular person, you think? I don't... Anyway. "13 clues will solve Dracula's riddle." What? Okay, that's that guy. Okay, I think we've talked to everybody. We bought a white crystal, which I forget what those do. Oh, right. A clear sign. A clear sign that maybe you should go the other way. Okay. Oh, I can't even go inside, and okay, we just gotta wait it out, huh? I was gonna go try to recover my health, but... I'm not getting anything for these kills. Do the guys in town not give you anything? Do I need to step outside of town to... Yeah. Now we're talking. I'm just gonna jump at you forever, and it worked. You're like, oh shit, this weird wolf man. I was just whipping him, and it was going fine, and then he just started hopping. Like, what am I supposed to? Is that legal? Ah, I did that exactly wrong. That's not gonna work. Do I need a harder whip to like whip my way into that lower area? Do I need a thorn whip or something? Okay. The morning sun has vanquished the horrible night, which is nice. Ugh. Now we're out during the day, where the soundtrack is even more ripping. Don't I need an item to see? Can I hold the white crystal? Is that a... There we go. So obviously, you know, the first game being a very straightforward arcade-style video game, you know, like walk to the boss fight, murder the dudes, get to the next stage, here's stage 7, here's stage 8, like all that, you know, all of that business. And then going to this is a really crazy change. Fuck, dude. Calm down. All right. Well, weird goo. Seems like a good racket I got going. Now we got enough of that thorn whip. I could go back and Oh. So that is my memory of this game is that it is full of a bunch of fucking bullshit. You know? Good. Great. Interesting spawn points. I don't even know if I have what it takes to hit. I mean, probably need like holy water or something I can throw with those guys, right? Again with the hopping guys. Whoa. We've leveled up. All right, as an orb holder, I'm going to go back and get the Thorn Whip. And perhaps holy water. It's a good-ass song, this song. Is this his first? Is this its first appearance in the franchise? The Castlevania series gets really weird when you start to like piece out like what came out when and where, you know, like all of the weird stuff that happened, you know, regionally. Because I think if you look at this game and you look at like that MSX version of Castlevania that is a little bit more open, like this game feels like kind of a bigger version of that. A bigger, like more realized version of that, but still not like a great. Yeah, I don't know, man. This game, I think in the context of what else was out at the time and like what you thought of could, you know, as a sequel to a video game, like this game's pretty crazy. Like it's bonkers how. I already got one. I'm okay. How much money we? Okay, we got. The Thorn Whip was 100. And so does the... Can I just use it wherever? Is that the... It doesn't look like it's draining hearts. Which is good, I guess. I guess I could use that to beat those slimes, if depending on what kind of damage the holy water actually does. T-Whip. You know, it'd be nice if the whip looked different. I guess I could heal up. And we'll go back that way, I guess. I guess I'll go back to that castle. This is probably where I'm supposed to be, right? I don't... The game really doesn't do a great job of telling you what you're supposed to do. And the in-game text is not awesome. And those are like those are problems, right? I mean, I think that this game turned into a Nintendo Power game. This game turned into a look at the map and do, you know, and figure out what you need to do sort of game. That I think it didn't quite need to be that. It's not impossible to suss out all these years later, but only because you kind of know the basics of what you are up against, you know? That there's some bullshit in this game where you're gonna find a cliff with nothing there and you gotta crouch for a while and you gotta, you know, there's gonna be just like little things like that you have to contend with. And you know, good luck. You know, that's it, huh? Okay. And I think that's the, you know, that's ultimately the problem with this game. There's only so many different ways you can go, right? There's only so many different places in this game. And so, you know, walking around and figuring all of that stuff out and the order, it's not unknowable. Should I go down? Let's go down. There's gonna be fishmen down here. I don't like them. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there's a town down here. Well, maybe I should wait it out and see what's going on in here. And so I finished this game very quickly upon receiving it because I was a Nintendo Power subscriber. So anytime you were faced with some bullshit, like pretty much the entire game was broken down right there in the magazine. And there's stuff in there that I don't think, you know, given I think, you know, my experience with games at the time, and I think everyone's experience with games at the time, because there weren't, you know, like it kind of wasn't done. I think you had a lot of situations where it was just like, there are things you do in this game that you would never in a million years think to do. In terms of like, walk to the end of this and crouch for a while. Because like the text is not great at illustrating that stuff. Like, you know, the things that you look at after the fact, decades later, and go like, oh, that's probably a poorly written clue for this thing they want me to do. And if that had been better written in the English version, and, you know, or better written, period, like not necessarily, it's not necessarily just a translation issue. But if it had just been done better, I think, you know, in a more reasonable way, I think this would just be a better game overall. Sure. This slow-moving, ugly-looking dagger, compared to what you get in the first game, is criminal. Laurels in your soup enhances its aroma. Clues to Dracula's riddle. are in the town of Alba. Clues to Dracula's riddle are in Berkeley Mansion. Everybody knows where the clues are. The 13 clues of Count Dracula. Everyone knows that's what this game's really about. Collect all 13 of the clues, and then you go to the end of the game. You know, yeah, I don't know. I think structurally, you know, there's a more modern, slightly more modern version of this that I think is just would end up being much more approachable by a wider swath of people. You've got a friend in the town of Algeba. Yeah, I want a chain whip. Man, I would have not bought the thorn whip or that stupid dagger. If I had known you were selling chain whips for $1.50 out here. Now I gotta go to Eyeball City. Fuck this. A lot of slowdown. I don't know. I guess like my take on this, you know, these days is a little bit more of like I kind of appreciate the ambition. Because I don't really think that anyone had seen a game quite like this. I think you could probably draw some comparisons to The Adventure of Link a little bit, insofar as that's a more open-ended game, open-ended world, I guess I would say, not necessarily game. Any reason to go over here? No, just to Rambo, perhaps. That's fucked up. Every night worse than the last. All right, I guess, you know, we got the first whip upgrade. We got holy water now. Got hopping unicorn demon. Fucking weirdo. You freak. This is just like a fast way out, isn't it? This isn't actually... Or is this just nothing? I think that some of this stuff is not designed well. Some of these environments are not great. Do I gotta sit here if I do this for... If I do a little crouch dance in the bone room, will that... The slowdown is pretty substantial. Oh, yes, you got me, you fuckface. Dracula. Well, it wasn't like I needed to stay up here. See, that's just, it's not cool. You know? That's not like, it's not cool video game stuff to do that. And then what do I get over here? Jack shit? All right. Well, I guess we go back. Good. So what? I lose half my hearts, or I lose all my hearts. Okay. Fuck me, I guess. So that means that, you know, like if that's to be believed, you know, unless I'm missing something, there's fucking jack shit over here. And so I think that ends up being like the problem with this game, right? Is like they built this world, it is relatively open, and then didn't put stuff in it. And so it becomes a game full of a bunch of haha dead ends that are not especially cool. Take that, dickhead. Stupid slime. All right, we went over here and there wasn't anything. I think for it being this kind of open-ended game, I think having the kind of arcade game style, immediate respawn, walk on and off the screen stuff is not super welcome. Oops. I'm down here selling stuff. Ah. I don't remember what would that guy be selling? Invest in an oak steak? Delicious. Hey, destroy the curse and you'll rule Brahms Mansion. Really? Maybe I don't want to. So, you know, here we are, kind of like the first castle, the first dungeon, whatever you want to call. Oh, hey, here we go. A flame flickers inside the ring of fire. Fuck you. Fuck you. What is... A flame flickers inside the ring of fire. Come on. But, you know, okay, so we're in this very early game area. And we've got trap floors and all of this other bull crap that you're... Oh, am I fucking all the fucking way back here? Are you... Dude, am I... Do I have to... So like I was saying, fuck this game. You know what I mean? Like, this is the early part of the first area of the game, and you've got, hey, haha, fuck you, invisible floor, deal with it, dickhead. Like, it's really unfriendly, you know, and not in like a, oh, check out how cool that, you know, not in like a, oh, if only I had been paying a little bit more attention, or, you know, like, are you really supposed to just walk every, you know, and do this every step of the way looking for false floors? Like, this is not a great... That's not a good time. That's not a good, fun video gaming time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here's some shit you got to deal with. Like, oh, thanks. So this floor's solid. It's these blocks right here that I have to worry about. And then I don't think any of these were actually a problem either. Nor were these. Okay. So... And this is just, there was just this book over here, right? There wasn't actually... Yeah. Let's look at it again. A flame flickers inside of your beehole. So I like that, you know, there are things about this that I think, you know, are really interesting and cool. Like the setup for it of like, hey, we've got this really unreliable, not necessarily unreliable narrator situation, but a, you know, you're going to find things in this game that are just great, you know, hey, it's the world is full of fucking dumb books full of bullshit. Just like real life. You know? And that's not the worst idea in the world. Do I need the... Is this what the stake is for? Alright, successfully processed. And so now with Dracula's rib, we have a little shield here. That's fun. But it's not like Metroid style. Well, even in Metroid, you had to make a few decisions, I guess, later on. But, you know, you either get to see hidden moving platforms, or you get the shield. You're not getting a constant string of upgrades. You're getting little by little upgrades. So is that it? There's nothing else here, right? That's... I got the part of Dracula that I need, and now I leave, right? That's... Which I guess, you know, now this hidden floor is not the worst thing in the world. I don't like meat, you know, ribs, you know, ribs are tasty. I don't, I mean, it's not, I don't like eating meat with bones in it because it's usually like, hey, it's just not worth the work for the meat. Like here's a tiny amount of meat, you know, stuck around a bone. Same with wings, buffalo wings and drumsticks and stuff. It's just like, it's not. It's just not worth it. Well, now what? I guess that's the whole thing. Is like there's no immediate. Okay, now go here, and a lot of these characters that we've talked. I don't think any character in this game ever changes what they say. I could be wrong. Yeah. And so it's not like we go back to the first town for new tips. It's okay, now move forward or you know, move to the next spot and do what you need to do. I guess I could go, you know, I should go back and maybe get the chain whip. Is that going to be the move? Is that the move? We'll play a little bit more of this. And then rank it. that is my argument in favor of like a boneless wing or whatever. Like, who has time for this shit? More or less, you know? It's not some kind of like, they're tendies. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Sure, dude. You know what's also good? Chicken nuggets. Nothing wrong. So yeah, I don't know. Like, is sucking meat off a fucking bone not my fucking gig, man? What a horrible night to stand here with a shield. But yeah, so, you know, a lot of this game ends up, you know, like feeling as like, I guess I would say it gets a little bit more obtuse as it goes on, right? Because it doesn't necessarily tell you like, hey, you need to buy the steak to, you know, to bust the orb to get the, you know, like there's, it's missing a lot of the connective tissue that it would have to kind of let you fucking manage, you know. Okay, no, we already have a dagger. Simon Belmont loves daggering. Everyone knows it. Half these towns don't even tell you what the name of them is when you're in it. Like, you got a friend in the town of fucking fuck you. Like, all right, where's that? There we go. A different looking whip. I think if the thorn whip had thorns sticking out of it, that would be good. You know, like just a better looking whip at every turn. Just would be a nice bit of visual flair. Ugh. Was there anything back over here worth a shit? I was not paying attention. Okay, well, we got something. Ah, can that hurt me? It can, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. In case there wasn't enough slowdown, we added some weird fire pillar that you could use to really fuck things up. But yeah, I remember getting this game, finishing this game, being disgusted with this game, and then never touching this game again. That was my original Simon's Quest experience, was like, fuck this. Like, what did I just do? Like, this is a horrific... Like, as a sequel to Castlevania, it's an abomination. Like, I was mad about it. When this game was new, you know? Now, at this point, I think I would say, you know, like, they had some ideas, right? I think that's readily apparent, but... But, you know, they did not do a great job of kind of giving you breadcrumbs, giving you any kind of stuff, you know? Okay, garlic is a limited item. We have 2 garlics. What do you do with it? I'm told that laurels will enhance the aroma of my soup. Ah! Oh! Do I have a friend in Algeba? Give it to me straight. What's up? Just hanging out down here, huh? This was not worth the trip. But I guess what I would say, you know, about it now is I think you can see a much better game hiding inside of this, you know, and some of that is just the way the writing, the way the game gives you tips, the types of tips it gives you. Man, I just wanted to talk to that guy. And I think these hands look stupid. That's the other thing I would say about this game, is that these hands are dumb. We need to be able to... This is not a white crystal sort of situation, right? This is a... You need a high jump, or this is just like a one-way? I forget what it is. Maybe we've seen enough. Maybe this is enough enough Simon's Quest for us. No, it's this. No, your password's actually this. No, it's actually this. All right, Simon's Quest. So yeah, it's ambitious, you know? When you think about what the previous game on this platform was, I think that, you know, they tried to make a game that was much different in scope. You know, like, hey, what if we took these mechanics and tried to apply them differently? I think some of that works and some of that doesn't. Even at its core, I think there's stuff about the sub-weapons kind of feel dumb in this game. You know, there's something about like, oh, you have unlimited use of these items. They're not as effective. Like the dagger just barely goes, you know, you think about the dagger in that first game and how it crosses the entire screen and all of that. Now here's a much slower, uglier looking dagger and with crappy range and what have you. I think that stuff, you don't feel as cool as you do in the first game with some of the way that those sub weapons pop off, you know? They try to have an inventory, but the inventory system is like, you know, even that menu is just like clunky in its own weird way. Like it's not great at, like once you know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking at, right? But like even that stuff is not as like, you know, like just easy stuff would make this game a lot better. And I don't think that they need to just like point you in the exact direction and go like, now go here, now go here, now go here. I like that the game has some mystery to it. I just don't think they do a great job of kind of working, you know, like you don't necessarily have the tools to figure out what you need to know. And so it turns into just like, well, I'm just going to wander around and figure this out. And like, oh, some of this text is kind of guiding me in some kind of direction. But like eventually it's just like, hey, there's someone who will always say, hey, there's someone in this town who wants to see you. It's like, yeah, there's someone in every town. That's the game. It's not that many towns, you know? And I think that ends up eventually kind of doing it a bit of a disservice, you know, like it's if it was a little bit more kind of, if it was better about being like, you know, self-contained and better about kind of giving you the tools you need to figure it all out in a slightly better way for some of the more esoteric stuff, like the crouching, you know, there's elements in this game where it's like, oh, go crouch here for longer than you would think you would need to. So you might walk out there, crouch, and go, nothing's happening. Like hold it for a little while longer than it seems like you might need to, and then this will happen. You know, I think that stuff is it's too much. It's just a little bit too much, and I think that's the thing that has always been this game's downfall. I appreciate it much more now than I did then. I think that, you know, again, like I came away from this game being like, yo, fuck this game. Like, holy shit, what a waste of, you know, like you, and by waste of time, I mean, you wait all this time for a sequel to Castle motherfucking Vania, and then you get this, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. That's that, I guess. Like, it's not fun to play without, the combat is not engaging enough. The world is not vast enough to where like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, wander around and do it without, you know, knowing any of the secrets. And it's not fun as a Nintendo Power by your side, you know, which is eventually how I ended up playing it. And so, you know, you end up finishing it in a couple of days, you know, maximum, I guess at that point. It's not that long of a game once you know the, like, 3 dumb things about it of like, oh, go here and crouch. And, oh, you need to put this on so you can see this guy. And then the ferryman's here. And then, you know, like, there's just a couple of things that you conceptually need to wrap your mind around. And then the game kind of falls apart, right? It's not that deep. And so I think that's the big problem with Simon's Quest is that they don't do it right. It's cool that they tried this. You know, I think again, you go back to the first like, you know, Castlevania on the MSX, and you see a game that's like, okay, this visually looks like the first Castlevania, but also it's a much more open-ended area, and there's keys and chests and all this other weird stuff. And, you know, like, that game is even more ridiculous. Having watched someone play through that and seeing, yes, that it is a very special type of hell on its own. But you see that, and then you see this, and this Simon's Quest looks like a weird refinement from that. And, you know, we can look at the credits and make sure, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, different people did this, and then, you know, I don't know what the core Castlevania crew looked like at Konami back then, but they had ideas with this franchise that were more than just an arcade style game previous to this. But this is the first one that, you know, made it onto this platform in this country and all of that other stuff. And so it was unique for that. And I respect it. I don't think it's a great game though. You know, it's the music's incredible. You know, it helped lay the groundwork for Castlevania as like a really powerful franchise musically, to the point where what are they're putting out like that 10-13 record box set of Castlevania music. It's crazy. Music to throw bones by. I like Castlevania. And I guess I would say at this point, I guess I kind of like Simon's Quest. I just don't think it's, you know, like, again, I don't think it's a very good game. And it's sad because, again, I don't think it would take much to make Castlevania 2 a more approachable game that more people, I think, would have enjoyed legitimately. I think you have a lot of people kind of on both sides of this argument these days, where you've got people that are like, no, everyone was too hard on it back then. This game is great, which is a ridiculous take. And then I think you've got people that think it's the worst game in the world, which I think is also, as the Simon's Quest centrist, allow me to say, this game's fine. It's frustrating. And there's a lot of weird bullshit in it. But, you know, hey, what are you going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to rank it. What we're going to do is we're going to sit here and we're going to look at this list and tell you it's certainly no Gargoyles Quest 2. It's no... let's look at this list a little bit more here. It's no Double Dragon 2 The Revenge. You know, Castlevania is all the way up here at number 32. It's no Castlevania 1. You know, City Connection's a better game. Is Simon's Quest better or worse than Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man? I think it's worse. It, you know, like, aesthetically, musically, a lot of those things, it is better than most of Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man. But Kid Icarus is this is kind of the right zone for this. You know? Let's look at these games around here. Let's make sure. Let's find an actual bottom. Okay. Simon's Quest is better than Arkista's Ring. It's better than Clash at Demon Head. A game that I think has, you know, like a couple of similar. A Clash of Demon Head is I think, you know, you appreciate it because it had an openness that games did not have back then, and that's fascinating. But Clash of Demon Head is not an amazing video game. Clash of Demon Head was a game that had an aura around it. I think back then, it was a game that kind of stood out. Because it had this kind of like open and you know, these numbered routes and all this stuff. You're like, wow, this game's vast. And you're like, nah, not so much. Not so vast. And it's not fun to traverse any of those routes because Clash of Demon Head has. Anyway, I think Simon's Quest is better than Clash of Demon Head. Let's see here. It's better than Arkista's Ring. It's better than Ninja Crusaders. Man. I guess it's better than Ghosts and Goblins, man. I this is a hard one. Ghosts and Goblins is kind of a disaster, I think, you know, like when you pick it apart compared to the arcade version and all of that stuff. I think it's very easy to shit on Ghosts and Goblins, but it's still a very very good game. Ghosts and Goblins has a different type of bullshit, obviously. You know, when you finish it and they're like, all right, great, now do it again. You're like, oh, you fucking go. I hope you die. I hope the people who made this die a horrible death. Let's see. So I guess Simon's Quest is better than Ghosts and Goblins, but it's such a, for very different reasons, right? They're very different things. So I think what we're looking at here is Ghosts and Goblins is not, Simon's Quest is not better than Double Dragon 2, but it is better than Ghosts and Goblins. It's better than Kid Icarus. Let's see here. It's better than Little Ninja Brothers. It's not as good as Bonk's Adventure. Even though this is not the... If I was going to tell you to play a version of Bonk's Adventure, it's obviously not the NES version. It's the TurboGrafx release, but it's the Amiga version. Go back and, you know. Yeah, it's better than Low G Man. Is it better or worse than Muscle Tag Team Match? I suppose it's better. It's better than Kabuki Quantum Fighter. It's our new number 80. It's better than Flying Warriors. It's not as good as Bonk's Adventure. So it's still a top 100 game. I think it's just a game with a lot of caveats, you know. Castlevania II, Simon's Quest. What is this? Episode 83? Yeah. Okay. And there you have it. Our new number 80, Simon's Quest. It's a game with a lot of bull crap, with some great music, and interesting ideas. Interesting ideas, if nothing else. So you can, I think if you put all these games next to each other and look at it, you go like, at least there's something going on here. And I don't know, that's exciting. A lot of games don't have that. A lot of games don't have anything going on here. Up next, Cathode Ray Dude. Wanted to see this. I think when people say Acclaim is back and they're gonna get back to making the type of hits they're known for, I can only assume they're talking about games such as these. This game's called Wolverine. What if there were two Wolverines? So I can hit select and I can just do this. But attacking with the claws out lowers your strength. Okay, if we crouch, it'll let us crawl. I was like, can I stick the claws into the walls and climb? No. Burger. Oh, it's one of those games. One of those games where you just stand still and all your health drains out. No hit reaction whatsoever. This, hey, guess what? This game doesn't feel good at all. Every bit of the movement and level bonus. Surprise! It's your old friend Sabretooth. Look at this dumb fucking level. We got these kind of... Here's a magnet just chilling. Oh, not chilling anymore. Oh, it's my stupid claws. Dude, it's... Oh, there's the end of the level down there. There's the end of the level. What? Trial by traps. This sucks so much, dude. Oh, I was like, what's that air meter mean? Why does it just say air 25 all the time? That's why. I refuse to engage with this game. I can't. I shan't. Oh, I got that burger, but I got an axe to the face for my troubles. Oh! Heartbreak. I got a free game. What? What is that? Congratulations, you win extra Wolverine? Did I get a diamond? So this is the way we came in. Now, but like... So sleepy. It's got a real like bum ass Commodore 64. You know, the lack of hit reaction just has a certain, again, just busted ass UK ass. I rammed my crotch into a fan, and it really hurt. It took most of my strength away. And then there were the evil bubbles. Sabretooth, you came up with some evil bubbles. It was a trial by water, you understand. Is this a thing I can go past? No, that just... I need booze. It's like you push B to swim up, but then A is the jump button, so when you get to the top, you have to hit A to get out. This is the beginning of the level. Yeah, out of continues. This is so that's your life. Like literally, punching and kicking with the claws out costs you life. His healing factor is not represented anywhere in the game. Oh, and now that I'm at low health, I can no longer use my claws. Like this feels like a poor representation of the Wolverine character. Like it feels a real like, hey, we had to come up with some things to make this more video gamey, and so using your claws drains your thing. And I'm sure that they probably wrote some sort of questionable stuff around it to at least attempt to justify that, but like, man, it's they really are missing the essence of what makes Wolverine interesting, right? Is Well, I mean, any kind of dialogue whatsoever, really. You know, which, not weird for the games of this era, for sure. But the whole point is that Wolverine is supposed to be kind of hard to kill. Surprise, it's your old friend Sabretooth, who does not show up in this level or any of the levels immediately after it. Maybe we eventually get to have a confrontation with him down the line, but I can almost guarantee you that you and I are not going to see it here on this day. It's not worth it. Nothing in this game is worth it. Do a blind jump down to where the end of the level is. Cool. That was too easy. Now you'll have to watch your step. Thanks, old pal Sabretooth. Just not a, yeah, you know. Oh no, my swimsuit. Like, the range on that punch is so fucking bad that you end up taking damage incidentally just by, you know, fucking up the range. And so really, this game sucks in a few different ways, you know? burger. If only I had gotten a free game. You know, maybe we could have seen level 5. This plays like shit. The punching and kicking feels miserable for, you know, a game where, you know, that's a thing that Wolverine does. He fights. And that it's bad. And having the claws be... Having the claws drain your life is garbage. That's just trash. That's a terrible that's a terrible way to go. That's like the opposite of healing factor is what that is. Sucking factor is very high on this one. Yeah, this is, you know, it feels like a very bad representation of Wolverine, the character. Which, you know, again, I think a lot of games of this era did it poorly. You know, when it came to trying to represent characters from other mediums and what have you. Like, I think a lot of comic book characters got done exceptionally dirtily in this era, and I think, you know, in the eras ahead, I think a lot of them still do. But this is a particular brand of suck, is what this is. It doesn't feel good. The lack of a hit reaction, again, that whole thing of like, let's stand here and just watch the health drain out because your sprite is intersecting with an enemy's sprite, is something that I think, you know, again, this is not that not that unheard of for the era, and Software Creations, you know, certainly I bet that this is not the only one of those types of games that they made. They were based out of, what was it, Manchester? It's a UK based developer, making games that feel like they are lightly upgraded versions of games that would have appeared on, you know, the popular British microcomputers of the the previous 5-year period. But it's the 90s, and here we are looking at Wolverine with a lot of this same stuff. You want a little bit of knockback. You want to know you're getting hit with something other than a noise. And I think that sucks. I think it sucks in most games, honestly. I think the very idea of like stand here and just drain out health, like I think that's just a really terrible way to do games. But yeah, at the same time, I think it really yuck. I think you could start and stop with the basic idea of like, hey man, we're gonna give you Wolverine's claws, but every time you use them, it drains your health. Like, fucking no thanks. But without the claws, the range on your punches and kicks is so bad that you might take that kind of damage just incidentally by, you know, trying to walk up to an enemy and stop. You might overlap with them just enough to take that kind of damage anyway. So would you be better off using the claws? Maybe. It's like it's a bad choice to have to make. It's not a choice that makes a game more engaging or fun or entertaining. And ultimately, it's a terrible video game. Like, it just feels bad. It's certainly no Crashing the Boys Street Challenge. Karnov, a significantly better game. Xevious, the Avenger. You'd be better off with a copy of that. It's no Solstice, the Quest for the Staff of Deimos. Is Wolverine better or worse than Dino Wars Destruction of Spondylus? Dino Wars doesn't have this problem. Dino Wars is, generally average to somewhat below average, walk to the right and shoot shit or punch shit kind of game. Pretty straightforward. Wolverine is not as good as Dino Wars Destruction of Spawned Wylus. You'd be better off with a copy of Town and Country Surf Designs 2, Thrilla's Surfari, not to mention Wood and Water Rage. Malyon's Secret Castle is a better game. It's no Wrath of the Black Manta. Man. This is some rough territory. Toxic Crusaders is a better game. Battletoads is better. The Ultimate Stuntman is a better game. Is it better or worse than Captain Comic The Adventure? It's worse than that. It's worse than Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Taito's version, Taylor's version. It's no Puss in Boots, Perro's Great Adventure. It doesn't have as many ALF questions as Jeopardy Junior Edition. You'd be better off with a copy of Street Fighter 2010: The Final Fight. Oh, you'd certainly you would have a great time with Ikari Warriors 2 Victory Road. If you had played any amount of Wolverine beforehand, you'd be like, "Oh God, thank God, a video game." Wolverine's worse than Platoon, which is, this is starting to sound like the right neighborhood. It's not as good as The Adventures of Dino Ricky, Dino Richard. It's not as good as Ikari 3 The Rescue, which is not a good game. It's no Skate or Die 2 The Search for Double Trouble. Is it better or worse than Alfred Chicken? Man. It's worse than Alfred Chicken. It's worse than Alfred Chicken.
I'm coming really soon.
It's not as good as Wally Bear and the No Gang. Yeah, man. It's okay. Again, this is why we do science, because it's very difficult for me to call a game worse than The Simpsons Bart versus the Space Mutants because of how fucking terrible that game is. Because of how terrible that is. But Wolverine is notably worse. Wolverine is very much worse than that. You would be better off with a copy of Super Pitfall. You'd be better off with The Last Ninja. Predator's got big mode. Wolverine doesn't even have claw mode, really. Not the way you would want it. It's worse than Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Fuck. What a miserable... This is such a... The bottom of this list is really grim, though. Wolverine is better than some of these games, surely. Is Wolverine... Let's just cut to it. Is it better or worse than Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six? Jesus. It's worse than Spider-Man. It's worse than Spider-Man. But it's not as bad as the Uncanny X-Men. Between Two Marvels. Oh, God. I just fleshed out. Okay, you do Between Two Ferns, but Deadpool's the host, and it's Between Two Marvels, and he interviews other Marvel guys, and then disgusting. Disgusting. It's a disgusting idea. It's not as bad as the adventure. Is it better or worse than the Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends? I might rather play Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, but it can't. It's better than the Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. It's better than Robo Demons. It's not as good as. Dude, this is rough territory. This is really rough territory. It's not as good as Barbie, another game from the developers of Bart versus the Space Mutants. It's no King Neptune's Adventure, a game that sucks, but at least has like something interesting going on. It's better than Stack Up, but it's not. It's better than Home Alone 2. Oh, is it better or worse than Circus Caper? God, dude. It's worse than Circus Caper. It's our new number 469. Disgusting. Wolverine. It's hard, man. You know, like there's just stuff about these characters that like, you know, you want to try to represent, but like also you probably have like a month and a half to make the game, and you know, you're just cranking these things out. Especially this is like late era, relatively speaking, for the platform. And so it is this like cash in bonus time. We've got to get these games out the door as fast as possible to capitalize on this before the SNES comes out and, you know, like fucks everything up all over again. And, you know, just a messy era from your friends at LJN/Acclaim. Thanks to Cathode Ray Dude for suggesting that pile of garbage. I'm glad to have seen. I don't think I have never played that game. Next up, a game I have played. National Shoes 78 wanted to see this one. And it's called Stinger. Help me, says this scientist or doctor or whatever. Money. A hot question mark. There was a skull. So we can play keepy uppy here with these bells. I guess that doesn't do anything because that's the weapon I already had, right? Ah. We're turning crosses into money over here. Like I was Jim Baker or something over here. It's hard to manage this. I feel that way about most shooters that have you like shoot or juggle a power-up or something to try to turn it into something. Like 1943 kind of does the same thing, right? Fuck it. Ah! Handled. Now we get kind of a Xevious thing going on. This laser seems pretty good. I don't know what the later power-ups are, you know? Like, I would love to sit there and, you know, nurse a bell for like half an hour. Oh, well, I guess we're... to figure out what the... you know, if there's anything after the laser on the... on these bells. Ugh. Could have used a speed power up there, but... okay, let's go bonus game. I'm Am I just supposed to get them? Yeah, looks like. Bump, bump. Sigmund Squidmund. This game's pretty breezy compared to a lot of other shooters on the platform. Ah. I like the basic idea of, hey man, once you get a power up, the music changes. These shoes! Evil coat hangers. It's got a real Mega Mania kind of vibe to it with some of the enemy styles. Ah! Oh man, no invincibility whatsoever. And yeah, obviously, you know, Konami had a bit of a history with the Twin Bee games and Proteus and all of the other stuff over the years. Ah. Shit. Yeah, it's a lot harder to really get your bells floating long enough to get what you need in these later stages. Ow! Dang it. Ah, yeah, yeah. They're not fucking around anymore. Yeah. You swear you can collect your angel. Yeah, you can, but like, you know, I wasn't collecting it then because I didn't have any power-ups. So collecting it then, you only get it once. If you collect it, then it does not appear on the next life. And so collecting it when it doesn't have any power-ups is basically a waste. Too many bells. That's my problem. All right, let's focus on the shooting. See how that goes. Fuck. I really like the idea of the music. Like, oh yeah, it was cool when you had power-ups, huh? Music was all exciting. Now you're just like going. I'll take the double shot. I don't know. I wanted the laser, but like every time I go for the laser, I take my eye off the ball for just too long and end up dead. Not pleasant. Bummer. All right, Stinger. Let's just watch the Konami building get blown up again. Boom! We had to go back in time and blow up Konami before they could make Metal Gear Survive. That's a cool game. You know, it's interesting trade-offs, you know, on the power-ups, like the way that you have to deal with the bells. It's got some vertical, it's got some horizontal. I think that's cool. I think both of them are handled pretty well in terms of the vertical scrolling going more Xevious with your kind of air-to-ground attack and giving you that kind of cursor. It also kind of homes in, like if you're near a target and you hit the button, it will hit it, which is convenient. And so they kind of do one better than Xevious did, where you had to line up your shots perfectly. Which is one, maybe the only example in Stinger of them saying, "Hey, we'll take care of that for you." Because the rest of it is you juggling a bunch of different things at the same time. You know, literally, juggling bells and shooting them enough times to where they're power-ups instead of points, and there's only a handful of, and oh, whoops, you shot it one too many times, and now it's back to points, and you picked it up at the wrong time, and like that's that system gets, I would say, frustrating, but also I think it's very fair. It's what gives the game a lot of its challenge to begin with, is you're kind of trying to do that while also being attacked by waves of enemies. The enemies themselves are not that difficult. You just kind of want to get the right power-ups to handle them, and that's where it can get kind of tricky. You can get your sideways shots, which you can combine them, which is kind of cool. You pick up a left shot and a right shot, and it gives you a back shot, which is, it's always nice. Get a nice back shot here and there. And I don't know. I think it's the cuteness that I think a lot of this type of game, that your ship in this game, the cuteness that would be associated with this type of thing in the 5 years ahead of this, 10 years ahead of this, and what have you, as the the Parodius series would really get rolling and all of that other stuff. It's not super evident here. This ends up coming off a little bit more like visually, it feels like a kind of Fantasy Zone derivative almost, in a weird way, like in terms of its quote unquote cuteness, but I think it would it would very quickly become its own thing, as Twinbee would continue, the thing it would do, and become known for sure. It's an interesting power-up system. I wish there was just like a slightly more going on. Having all of this ground question marks that are just giving you skulls over and over again is, maybe not the most fulfilling thing. Some more variety on the things you're picking up downstairs might have been helpful or more interesting, I guess, than what they ended up giving you. But it's a nice game. I like the way that they handle the, like, hey, once you get a power-up, you just hear the power-up music forever until you die, and then it's gonna go back to the normal music. I think that's like a funny way to do it. So it's nice. It's not, I wouldn't call it like an amazing, it's not some fantastic, like, oh my god, this is the best shooter I've ever played, but it's fine. It's cool. It's certainly better than Muppet Adventure Chaos at the Carnival, right? It's better than Darkwing Duck. It's better than NES Play Action Football. It's better than Kid Nicky Radical Ninja. It is better than Wizards and Warriors. Is it better or worse than Rambo? It's better than Rambo. I think I may have just rented. I think I borrowed this game from a friend, and so I had it longer than the average rental period, but I don't know that I ever owned my own copy of Stinger. Stinger. It's better than Ice Climber. It is better than Amagon. It's better than Muscle Tag Team Match. Is Stinger better or worse than Karnov? That's a weird one. I guess I would say, like, it's no Gradius, but it's better than Muscle Tag Team Match. So it's in here. It's no Super C. The Adventures of Lolo is a better game. And dare I say it, cuter. It's better than Bonk's Adventure. It's better than Mendel Palace. It is better than Karnov. A bunch of tricky comparisons here. I don't think it's as good as Panic Restaurant. The science would indicate it is better than Double Dragon 2. Yeah, Mighty Final Fight, the cutest game. I guess that's one thing Mighty Final Fight has going for it. Yeah, it's no Karnov. Stinger's our new number 77. Yeah. There you go. All right. Okay, let's take a look at it. Try it on. Looking good. I like it. Number 77. All right. Fandle want to see this next one. This was a cool arcade game that I bet is not very good here. It's Heavy Barrel. Heavy Barrel. Which had a rotating joystick in arcades, sort of like Akari Warriors, but was not a top-down game. The melody on this is making me want to die. Mission: destroy enemy's underground artillery base. See you later. Oh. Yeah, okay. This movement is so slippery. It's... Oh. The scrolling is so fucking weird. Like, you run faster than the scroll. Oh, goodbye to the backgrounds. Oh, okay. Background's back. Okay, I thought there was a... I haven't found any pieces of the gun yet. In my mind, sometimes I mix up Heavy Barrel and Midnight Resistance in terms of like, oh, you gotta save the keys for between levels to buy weapons then, as opposed to just like, oh, you're opening chests along the way and what have you. Alright, those don't seem killable, so we'll just dodge them. The enemy placement, though, like having these guys fly in from these weird angles like that, it just, everything about it looks weird. But other than the weird scrolling, this is fine. I don't know. You could certainly do worse. Ah! Good little, it's, you know, it's a good little jam. All right, we blew a fat hole in that thing. We have no keys. Oh, key guy. Let's get this one. Ah! Oh! So yeah, the arcade version of this, I remember having like a pretty good piece of speech, and that was just when you completed the gun, or I guess when you powered the cabinet on. I think it would just say it at the title screen too. It would go, heavy barrel! And like, that's pretty good. I remember when you get all the pieces of the gun, it not necessarily seeming like, oh, cool. This was a big era for evil trains, you know? Oops. The way the background reappears after the boss fight is funny. Very trashy. I don't know. Like it's a crummy. You know, it's a crummy problem to have in the first place, but some games definitely solve it better than others. Fuck. Oh. It's a big gun. It drains out even when you're not shooting it, though. And that's it. You drop it after that, it breaks apart into 6 pieces and then magically vanishes. And you have to collect the 6 pieces all over again. Ugh. Man. Your grenades are really, they travel weird. Even the perspective on the grenade is strange. Okay, well, that's that. This is an okay game. This is okay. 1-player battle, 2 players battle. This music is terrible, though. This little bit is no good. I mean, then they don't even. It's like Ebro. Like they sampled the middle of the heavy barrel audio and then didn't really do it. But yeah, that's a better arcade game for sure. But that's like a decent. I don't know. Like the movement feels a little slippery. The scrolling is really strange, but it's not unmanageable. I don't know. There's parts of it that are awkward for sure in terms of the perspective of the things on screen. And you know, the heavy barrel itself lasting for barely any time at all is not, I don't know, it just doesn't really feel like it's worth the effort of getting all the pieces. But you know, you're just going to find them incidentally along the way, so it's not like some huge like expenditure, you know, of time or effort to get the heavy barrel. You see just a lot of the weird NES tricks the developers used of like, oh, the enemy boss is too big and complicated, so we have to make the background go away so we can make the enemy the background layer, and what, you know, like those sorts of just development tricks stick out a little bit more here because of how they do it. You know, having the background pop right back in as soon as the enemy blows up is just a strange way to handle it. But it's like, it's, you know, it's a very Ikari Warriors-esque game with, you know, more frequent and more interesting power-ups, and just better movement overall. Like a faster moving game definitely goes a long way. That'd probably be the comparison point here. You know, if we open it up to other platforms, obviously you've got other games that are basically right there with it. You know, just like Bloody Wolf is a very similar game, you know, very attached to this game pretty directly. Yeah, Midnight Resistance kind of creeps its way in there with its own kind of key stuff as well. But yeah, Heavy Barrel, better arcade game than an NES game, but not terrible. Like, you know, like better than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, like I'm not sure that I've ever played that version of Heavy Barrel before, but you could do a lot worse. Is it better or worse than Ikari Warriors is, I think, the first question. It moves faster. The shooting is better. The grenades are maybe a little weirder. Ikari Warriors gets so strange at the end, though. You know, that's such a cool, weird, fucked up thing. But this is a better game in just about every way that matters. I would probably take Ikari Warriors over Heavy Barrel in my heart, but scientifically speaking, Heavy Barrel is a better game. It's better than Kid Nicky, Radical Ninja. It is better than Faria, A World of Mystery and Danger. It's better than Mario Brothers. It's better than Elevator Action. I love Elevator Action in just about all its forms. Pretty good Game Boy Elevator Action. If you're looking for a game that fits between Elevator Action and Elevator Action 2, the Game Boy Elevator Action kind of does some things that make it deeper and more interesting than the arcade game, but without, you know, but still kind of sticking to that basic look and feel of that first game, whereas the sequel is obviously such a dramatically different and fucking rad thing. Heavy Barrel's better than Top Gun. It's not as good as Die Hard. It's better than that port of Smash TV. Actually, you know, that this version of Heavy Barrel kind of reminded me of, like, what if there was an NES port of Total Carnage, the follow-up to Smash TV? You know, obviously that was a dual joystick game, and you know the whole thing. But you know, but that was kind of the feeling I had. Is like, oh, this is kind of Total Carnage-esque in some ways. I would take it over the NES port of Smash TV. Smash TV, of course, in its original form, perhaps the greatest video game ever made. Heavy Barrel is better than Lethal Weapon, but it's not as good as Die Hard. There you have it. It's our new number 143. It is Heavy Barrel. Not a bad game in its own right, you know? Again, you know, the arcade version is a more fully realized thing, and you know, all of that sort of stuff. But hey. Heavy Barrel. All right. Up next, one from Chili Bus. Wanted to see this thing that I wasn't sure if we would get to it today. Looking at the other games on the list, I was like, oh, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know what to make of this. I have no idea what this is. This game's called Secret Scout in the Temple of Demons. Or, I'm sorry, in the Temple of Demise. Roger worked with Nina on the graphics on this. Nina would go on to have a lengthy video game career. This is a great title screen. This guy's a bad shot. Oh, fuck. I was hoping I was the guy with the helicopter pack. What do you think it says about this company that, like, you know, they went from like these like pretty racist portrayals of enemies in a lot of these games to going like, now we make Bible games? Is that kind of on brand? Is that sort of, this sounded makes you know? You notice how they do, like, here's who did the programming and here's who did the graphics.
But I don't think this game has a here's who wrote this fucking rad music. Did I find a Coke can? Evil bird. I like that I just like hit the attack button near the guys at the windows and they just sort of disappear. Why do we get different music? Was that fucking bird again? I can't jump high enough to get up there and get those hearts. Which side was through the door? Was it the one with one block? This? Nope, that's where we came in. Fuck those birds. It does not have the weird pause noise. All right, I'll jump down there and fight you then. I don't mean, this is not a, this is a bad game. This game doesn't feel good. Like they tried to make this game where you're kind of fighting, right? It's sort of, it takes multiple attacks to take these guys out in some cases, and whatever that's good for. I don't know. Oh, what the fuck am I even looking at? These guys have guns. These guys have guns. Just getting juggled over here by these cool dudes. Stop! Why? What is to be gained by any of this? We got this really cool part in there where you run to the left. Wait. Oh, cool. The jumping in this game is really well realized, so it's nice of them to put in a few tricky jumping parts. Under no circumstances can I jump high enough to do that. Okay, we're over here now. There's some TNT up there that I don't think I can get unless... Nope, can't jump that. Oh, we got to fight on these stupid platforms too, huh? Cool. Ah, yeah, sweet. And start continues. They put it right on the title screen. We got 10 TNTs, but how do can I use them? Wait, and this is... Okay. Is this cartridge broken and it's just like randomly generating level data as it goes? And like, did we accidentally jump over the flagpole and end up in a minus world? And it's just like, this is part of the cartridge data that was never meant to be seen by human eyes? No! What the fuck? I positioned myself up against the back of the screen for a reason. Oh, back to the good music. Ah, shit. You gotta jump over the ladders. Like, this game had like areas in... Okay, we made it somewhere else. We made it back to the land of 1,000 flying rocket knives. Yeah, we put these hearts in, but you can't jump high enough to get up there to get them. So we were thinking, fuck you. Is what we were thinking. Oh, fuck you. Can you survive the ultimate maze in the Temple of Demise? Oh, cool. Back in the cool part. Oh, what do we got? A big cup of coffee? What do we... Oh, we got a shield. Great. Does that mean I don't take damage from the knife world anymore? Is there some kind of... Is some sort of specific bonus or benefit conferred upon me for having both the Coke can and the shield? 'Cause this right here feels like gaming now. Evil dripping water, that's a concept I understand. Ah, good. Back to home. This is back. I feel like you could classify video games into two different categories. Games in which you go through the door, and games in which sometimes you don't go through the door because there's another door. And this just goes back here, yeah. Oh, the B button acts like a Mario run, but look at this stupid fucking video game. Ah! You know, where am I? Why? This would be an interesting tool-assisted speed run to see. All right, we're back in the drip zone. This is where that gate, the closed door was, right? I mean, assuming, yeah, okay. I have 10 TNT. Is there a way for me to use it in any way to open this? Is there any combination of buttons I can press to... Well, you can't crouch down and jump. Okay, well, I don't really know what to make of that. Why is it dripping so much? This run is really something else. Ba da 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 da. Do 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 do. Hee 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 hoo. Ah da da da. Look at this fucking guy. It's like the guy from Hero got pissed. Select and up someone that no, surely. Oh, look at that. Well, that doesn't look like something we would use to open a gate. Okay, select and down drops it though. That might work. 2 ways to throw the dynamite. Ah. I can't move. I can't move when I can't move. Oh, look at that. You can pick items. What oh! What the ah! Well, the shield, I guess, is going to make me invincible here for a little while, maybe. So it looks like that gate does open because there's a path to the right there from that other room. Good God, man. I can appreciate on some level that there is some kind of rhyme or reason to this. So wait a minute. So there's another door that goes up and to the right, or... Alright, now I'm really back at the beginning. Is it that you can go in the windows? No, doesn't seem like it. Is this a door? No. We found Crossbow Guy. Cool place for that heart to appear. Thanks, Roger and Nina, for all that you've done. Hang on, let me pick dynamite. No, stand over there. Okay, here. Stand with me and die. Come with me to hell. Look at all this room for all these other items that we don't have. Oh, wow. Look at that fucked up looking door, man. Seemingly no way to get in it. This fucking game. Is there a mysterious ladder that I cannot see? Doesn't look like it. This is... It's a bad game. Okay. Let's get this on the list. Because these are not... Oh, yeah, okay, these are doors as well. Okay. I was going to say, the map makes it look like that there were a lot of doors, but... I guess maybe we can just go in here and fuck these guys up so they stop harassing us. And there are multiple shields because you can use that one up, but I still can't get up there. Hey, a heart I can actually get. Look at this game. Man. It's a lot of windows to go in. Here on floor 1, whatever that even means. Well, I guess if we assume that the blue is someplace we haven't been yet, then we've been. There's no way we've seen most of the game. That can't be right. Okay. All right. That's Secret Scout in the Temple of Demise. A little bit more depth to it than the average Color Dreams game, but it's that doesn't mean it's good. Man. That is an interesting and strange fucking mess. I guess the question is it better or worse than King Neptune's Adventure, a game that I think, also had a little bit like of stuff going for it in a weird way of like, oh, look at this. There's like a little bit more depth to this than you might expect. And I would pretty firmly say that this is worse than King Neptune's Adventure, despite having a map and an inventory. It's not a good game. Feels bad to see. King Neptune's Adventure, while not a good game, is also a great game. Man, the feel and the movement of it is really terrible. Also, navigating the inventory system and the way they use the select button and all of that is pretty terrible. I appreciate that at one point they added a run to the game, and it's so fast that they must have realized, oh, this game's a fucking drag to move around in, especially once you've cleared out all the enemies and you just need to like go from place to place. So why don't we make it so you really haul ass? Like, it's too fast for any kind of platforming. It's too fast for any kind of like combat scenario. But like, if you just need to get across the screen and fucking get there, like, it's okay, sure. Like this is way better. You do it. I wonder if that's something that they added like late after playing it for, I was going to say for 6 months, but let's face it, this game probably did not take 6 months to make in general. Talking percentages, in the last 20% of development, someone probably realized after they had been playing it over and over again, hey, this fucking sucks. Like, let's speed it up. Can you add a run like Mario does the thing with you hold down the button and he runs? Can we do that? I wonder. We'll never know. That's not true. We may know. I don't know. Let's track these people down and beat it out of them. Tell me everything you remember about Secret Scout in the Temple of Demise. King Neptune's Adventure is a better game. The combat feels miserable. The way that the kicks connect and stuff, like, there's something to it in terms of like, oh, you can kind of jump kick a guy and it's like weird. It is sort of satisfying, but the damage you take, the damage you give, none of that feels great. The birds are a pain in the ass to fight. They make a point of dropping a heart after you beat most of the enemies in the game, but the levels are designed in such a way that you can almost never get those hearts, which is just like confounding. Like, fuck you. It's like a double, triple fuck you to the people playing the game. It's really, the shits, man. It's a real bad game. It's a real bad game. It's worse than King Neptune's Adventure. But is it better or worse than Wolverine, man? Wolverine's fucking terrible. You could argue that there's like some chops somewhere hidden inside of Wolverine, but that almost makes it worse in a weird way. At least Wolverine has the soundtrack going for it. The soundtrack in Secret Scout is pretty good, though. That's going to stick with you. This is good. It's good. It's good. It's a good game. It's good. You get dynamite. This is worse than Wolverine. It's worse than Stack Up. It's worse than Robo Demons. It's is it better or worse than NFL though? It's worse because it's worse than The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. It's worse than Pesterminator, the Western Exterminator. It does have a map. It does have a map. When you find the map, you have to find the map. You don't start with the map. You have to find it. And because it has a map, no, not just because it's better than the Uncanny X-Men. Between the run and the map, there's something there where you're like, you've almost made a video game here. That X-Men game, though, this is worse than Deathbots. It's better than Pyramid. It's better than Operation Secret Storm. So it really is it better or worse than the Uncanny X-Men? It's better. It's better. That X-Men game is fucking so fucked. Yeah, it's our new number 479. I am unable to retain the name of this game at all. I have to look at it every single time that I'm going to say it or type it or anything. Secret Scout in the Temple of Demise. Yeah, it's an Operation Secret Storm like, but with more exciting adventure elements. What a fucking game. What a fucking game. But that's another game I would love to see all the way through. That's another game I would love to watch. I would love to see what the true depths of that game really are. I'm sure that a speed run is probably like 10 minutes or something, right? It's got to be a short one. It's got to be short. And so there you have it. There you have it. That cleared the list for today. We actually got to everything, which is surprising. But that means it's time for you to suggest some more games. Head over to patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann for more details on joining the advisory panel. And then you can suggest some games for this very mess. Bless this mess. Bless this mess. 483 games ranked. We're over the halfway mark. Coming up on 500 games ranked, which is a terrifying. It's terrifying. But yes, thanks everybody. You know, something kind of nice about this, like Saturday. I don't know. It's not the worst, but probably not gonna be able to, do Saturdays as a regular thing because the kids are off school and all of that. But yes, glad that we were able to do this and not skip a week completely, because yesterday was a mess. Yesterday was a real disaster around these parts, but we're hopefully on the other side of all of those things. Again, head over to dopeassvideogames.com, which will also get you to the Patreon, and sign up, check it out. You can follow it for free. There's some public posts, so you can kind of keep track of some YouTube archives and stuff like that. That way, if you don't want to just follow the YouTube channel, which is maybe a more direct way to do that, or follow on Twitch or what have you. If you're not into any of those things, the Patreon will let you know when things are posted and all of that stuff. And you can sign up for ad-free podcasts and Discord access and bonus shows and all of that, bonus podcasts and what have you. Be back next week with more. Yikes. I'll see you then.